Welcome to BISP Solution and welcome again for knowing and learning a new topic on the FCCs. And today we are going to know learn about the one of the feature known as control to date view storage and disabling view calculations. So to start with, these two feature is also available in the application, but to use them we have to enable them either at the time of creation of application and or at the time of or after creating it or after creating application we have to we can enable it, but there are certain conditions or the steps are applicable to that to them. So let's see first of them, and so this basically what this control to date view storage means. Basically, the control to date view storage application, it provides the option of whether or not to store the to date view member values. So to date value member here means the view member, that is the YTD member or the periodic member. By default, the consolidate and translate rules automatically calculates and store all the view members for QTD, YTD, and STD member. If enabled, naturally, if this HYTD member we need to enable in our application. When we run the consolidation and translate, the rules automatically calculate and store the view member the data in QTD and YTD during the consolidation and translation process, which means basically when we consolidate the figures, the data, the values are automatically stored, or we can see the figure in the QTD and YTD member under the view dimension. And choosing not to calculate and store to date view member value can result in a smaller application size, faster consolidation time, faster restructure time, and easier maintenance. Okay, so when we use choosing not to calculate and store to date view member, result is smaller application size. So it helps us to have a smaller application size, and it processes the activities faster, and the restructure time takes a much less time. When you enable control-to-date option during application or from the application, that is we have to choose this application, to choose this feature we have to enable we have to enable this data, this feature, either at the time of creation of application, okay, or this during application creation, but and we can enable it after creating the application also, but there are some conditions are applied to this. So for CTD, that is control to view, the first condition is the account dimension must be dense. Okay, when the account dimension is dense, only then we can use this control to view option functionality, these rules. Otherwise, by default, in application, period and moment dimensions are dense. Movement dimensions are dense. So to use them, we have to choose the account dimension must be dense. Okay, so I will just show you with the help of screen. A screenshot I have taken for this purpose. Okay, now you can see from here, just I will just copy this to okay. Okay, so at the time of creation, basically when uncheck account will be the dense. Okay, by default account and period and moment dimension are by default are checked, and they have and they are enabled as dense. mm, Dense account and moment dimension is will be dense by default, and in that case this control to date view storage feature is not enabled. But while creating application, when we uncheck this one, that is moment and period dimension, the account will be dense by default. But for that we need to uncheck this one, and when we uncheck this one, the in the application feature, this control to date view storage becomes automatically enabled. That is, it means we can enable this feature. So this is the first requirement, that the application must be created with account dimension as dense. Okay, and when we enable this feature, the system automatically adds the following consolidate and translate rules to the application. That is consolidate by selected view, force consolidate by selected view, translate by selected view, and force translate by selected view. So let's go and see this one in our application. This is the application where I have enabled use where I have made the account dimension as dense. Enable feature, this one. Now you can see I have enabled this control to date view storage, right? And under overview, I will show you the account dimension as a dense dimension. So this account dimension is a dense dimension basically, and period and moment is not a dense dimension. And let's go and see the rules, additional rules which was created because of enabling of this rule. This one, consolidate by selected view. This is consolidate by selected view, force consolidate by selected view, force consolidate by selected view, and force translate by selected view, force translate by selected view, and force translate by translate and force translate by selected. Okay, while which is otherwise not available when the account dimension, and we have not enabled this one. Now you can see this one, this screenshot. This is a normal screenshot. This is in this application, the period and moment dimension is a dense dimension. Therefore, we can see under this rule, these four functionalities, these additional rules, member rules, are not available. So let's copy this one. I already have the select this one. We will just paste below this one. This is the period and moment dense, and here account dimension is dense. So in the account dimension index, we can see these four additional rules. And while in case of period index, we can't see these rules. So going to the next step, control to date view storage. This is about this second. Then come to the next slide. We can see the procedure or the steps we are supposed to take for enabling this feature. So as I said, first of all, we need to enable this one as a control to date view. So I have already done in this application, because taking it in the live session, it may take some more time to calculate this one, enable this feature. That's why I have already created this one. Now there is no there is no period and account dimension. Period and moment dimension as dense. Account dimension is dense. Now you can see this figure. Control to date view storage is enabled here. Okay, and I just show you the account dimension is a dense dimension in this application. Okay, and on the second page, on the home page, click rules and verify that rules and translate by selected view rules have been added to the application. That is, these 4 rules are already enabled in this. These 3 rules: by selected view, consolidate by selected view, force consolidate and force consolidate by selected view, and force translate and translate by selected view. That was this means. Okay, and from rules, run consolidate by selected view on all ones loaded to application. This process will delete all QTD and YTD data. So when we come to, so I have already input the data for our this session purpose. I have already input the figure for this entity N01 and for N02, and with an investment in ICP 102 investment in this figure. This is the figure which I have already inputted in this smart. Okay, after inputting this figure, we have to run the business rule. From rule, runs consolidate by selected. So for that purpose, we have not to go with this option of consolidate. We need to run consolidate by selected view. So we have to take this one and have to enter the required POV. As such, as you can see, our entity here is N101. 101. It is for January actual, 15 and periodic. 15 and periodic. Okay. Now remember, keep in mind this one. We are inputting the figure in the periodic one, but when we run the consolidation, the figures are automatically transferred from YTD to YTD rule. The figures will be appearing in the YTD rule side. So once we run the consolidation, we can see the output here. Now you can see for this FCCs periodic, and this is the FCCs YTD. Okay, for this FCCs periodic, and is also available in this FCCs YTD at the top level. Okay, intercompany top and this one. With the help of this, when we run this figure, I have some data. Okay, so when I have run the consolidation for this purpose, before enabling that control to date, what is the data, what is the expected time for the consolidation rate for this scenario? It took from 0.42 am to 0.49, means it took 7 seconds to run this consolidation. Okay, and but when I choose this option, and as you know, it helps to improve our performance. The consolidation running time or the successful time reduced to only 1 second, from 26 to 27. Now you can see the application is here is same, a CTD test. Here is also a CTD test, and we have the same entity N100 and N100. Okay, this is our entity. So it has drastically reduced our processing time of application. Okay, so when we run this consolidation, after that we have to supposed to run the also the clear empty blocks for the same POV actual 15 and for the January, and we have to launch it. So what it helps? It helps us to reduce the processing times and the block time. Once we're done with that, we have to also under the job we have to run the clear. After the clear empty block rule, we have to go to the job and have to schedule a restructure cube job. So for that we will just go to the job, and under the job we have this. Okay, I will have to increase it, and under the job we have this option restructure cube, and have to run it, and have to do the finishing. I have to complete this task. After that, the result which we get is drastically reduced from 6 to 1 second, right? 6 to 1 second. It has reduced the time from 6 to random. After running this one, we have to again the consolidate was selected. So for that we will have to again, I will have to cancel this one, go to this rule, have to again run this one, consolidate this figure, launch. After that this processing time reduced to 1 or 2 seconds, or hardly 5 seconds. Though the time we are saying before and after is a very much less, but consider when the size of the application is very heavy and we have a very bulky data in it. So in that time it helps us a lot, and processing and reduce our consolidation time, the processing time, the background time, to a great extent. This one. So when I rule where it has we have seen the data for before and after the consolidation time. Now we can just see and check the result of it. This is the figure before enabling the CTD. Now after enabling the time, now you can see the data which is available in YTD and 100, which is available here. YTD and 100 is automatically shifted to YTD rule. That is, this figure will be, data will be transferred from YTD to YTD rule. It will not be shown under YTD. Okay, this one, this is the figure YTD. Once this is setting, the data will be loaded. This one. YTD. So let's see the figures also. Once again, the data, it has reduced the consolidation time and also the total block size before enabling that CTD and after enabling this CTD. So the block size for this performance has also reduced. That is the number of existing block. Before it is 137, and after enabling it, the number of existing block becomes 108. It also helps us to process faster. The application runtime becomes very less. This one, before and the after one. So I will just show you once again the blocks for it. For that, we will go to this rules under create and manage, EPM. From action, choose the database properties. Click on this console. Under statistics, you can see the existing block is become 1114 because as we have also used some other data also. That's why it has increased to 116. Otherwise, the earlier data was 1137, and after that it becomes 108 and has increased to 114 presently because I have one after taking this screenshot also. Now you can see the ACTD test. The application is same. It is showing the figure for the same application, that is ACD test. So this is the functionality of this control to date view. Okay. Now coming on to the next slide. So what is the expected result the which we have noticed in this? The application size reduced by approximately 40%. That is, the block size has reduced from 137 to 108, and the consolidation time by approximately 40%. 40% here written as for a heavy size, for the in which the metadata and the other data is available at a larger scale. But as in this case, the application size is small, hence the consolidation time decrease is more than 40%, but in an average it comes to around 40 to 50, and the restructure time is also reduced by 25%. And also we also have another feature in this application, disabling view calculation, which is also another feature in this. Disable to view date consolidation. Now we have just enable the date to view calculation in application, but disable to date view calculation in application setting to skip computing and storing view member as a part of data loads to see improvement in data loads as well. So this is the feature which is available in our application, that we can also enable this one. So financial consolidation and close provides application settings option to disable view calculation. This option disable computation storing of YTD, HTD and QTD data for data input through forms in the YTD members. Turning this setting to yes will help in improving the performance data upload. As we have seen, the data is available in our YTD rules under the periodic, but by enabling this one, this feature, this application setting, we can again move the data from YTD rule to FCCs YTD. Okay, so once this setting is set to yes and data is loaded, you should use the YTD rule, STD rule to see the respective method. Data will not be populated and updated in YTD. That's why it was saying it will be shifted from YTD rule to FCCs YTD. Okay, and however, if you still want to use the YTD and STD members and not the rule members, you can use the update view calculation rule to populate this after data load. Okay, that is, now let's see this in the application. from the navigator, go to this setting. Under these settings, now this one, disable to date view. By default it was basically no, but for this session purpose I have already enabled it as yes. So we have to enable it as yes. Disable to view calculation, this one. Update view calculation to yes. Update here to date view calculation yes, and have to save it. So what it will do, it will again transfer the data from YTD rule to YTD. Now you can see this one there. Earlier I will not refresh it, otherwise as I have run the data, as I have changed these settings, so the figures might change. So that's why I have copying it from the earlier output after. So now you can see the figures which are available in earlier in the YTD rule will be transferred or shifted to FCCs YTD. The figures are the same. This is total, and this is the member name, and this is the this is the member name. This is basically the alias. That's why it has given us the but the entities are the same. So this update view calculation. So what it does, we have to first enable the control to date view storage. So that has shifted the rule, the data from YTD to YTD rule. But if you don't want to see that also in the rule, then we have to enable this setting of disable to date view calculation. That is it is asking us, can we disable this setting, this one of YTD rule. So if we make it as yes, so it will then automatically shift the data from YTD rule to YTD, FCCs YTD. This one. This is as per this slide. This one. And basically these are the basic steps which has been given to disable view calculation. I have to click on application, then settings, and set the disable to date view calculation. This one, disable to date view calculation as yes. Load data again, and have to use the YTD rule member to see the YTD and YTD data. If you still want to use the YTD STD member, run the update view calculation rule for given scenario, year, period, and condition. That is, when we enable this one additional member automatically created here in the rules. This one, update view calculation. This one, update rule calculation. These members become additionally available under the business rule, and have to use this option to shift the data from YTD rules to YTD FCC YTD rule, from FCC YTD rules to FCCs YTD for that purpose. This one. So what we have done, we have first input the figures, normal figures as per our requirement. Then we see the output data. with account dimension as dense and not activated, not enable the CTD. So when we after this is the figure FCCS YTD we can see, but when we enable this C2D CTD, control to date view storage, the data is shifted from YTD to YTD rule. Okay, and it reduces our processing time and the structure block size. Now the consolidation time has reduced from 6 seconds to 1 second, and the block size has also reduced from 137 to 108. And by again enabling the update to view feature, the settings, the data is automatically turned on. It can be seen under the, so we don't get a confusion, under with the FCCS YTD. So this is how the this control to date view storage feature works, and also the disabling view calculation feature works for. So basically it is related to the performance of the application. It drastically reduce the performance, improve the performance and reduce the processing time of the application. This is useful when the application is loaded with heavier data, and when the volume of data and the metadata is very much heavier. It is large in size. So with this, we conclude our session, our today's session on the control to date view, control to date storage facility features. And for any questions or query, you can always reach out to us at support@BISPsolution.com. And also you can have other, you can see the other knowledgeable and useful videos on FCCS on our YouTube channel. So with that, we conclude our this session, and we'll come up with another topic in this session, with come with another topic in the next session. Till then, thank you very much, and goodbye.